so we start slowing down, and we look up, and they have these apps now where you can see how the traffic is. This will probably blow Phil's mind, but so they'll actually turn the interstate or the road you're on. They'll turn it red, as in for the next
red is full stop.
Yeah, 14 miles.
Really?
It is a lockdown.
Yeah, they do it all from satellites.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
So we look, and it's just a complete shutdown. And so we're barely moving. And first it's like, no big deal. Must be a wreck or whatever. And well, we go about 2 or 3 miles, and then we get about 30 minutes in, and they're directing us off the interstate.
Uh-oh.
And I thought, well, I hadn't had this happen before. I mean, we're like leaving the interstate, and every time there's a place to get back on it, there's a cop car that's saying, you're not getting back on.
So it had some kind of spill or something.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, your mind is working with me. So I start looking up what has happened.
Yeah.
And so basically all we could get, there was a stalled vehicle on the interstate. I was like, well,
this can't be
right. This can't be right. So anyway, Missy's driving, and speaking of, tensions are mounting because it gets into an hour delay, and then we get into 2-hour delay. I mean, we're moving at a snail's pace, and we're not even on the interstate. So Missy one time tried to make a move, and I was like, I wouldn't do this. I would stay with the herd. Because the road she was going down, there wasn't any cars. I said, I wouldn't do it. And she's like, but she's checking the, the maps.
Right.
Said, go here. I was like, I wouldn't do that. So she did it. And, when we got to where to get on the interstate, there's a cop car. Can't get on it. She's like, well, now what do we do? I was like, well, I told you I wouldn't have done that. So she turns
Get
around.
That blame assist.
So now we've added another 20 minutes because we had to turn around.
Right.
So now all of a sudden we're getting to the estimated time arrival at 2:00. Well, now we've missed the whole reason we're going, So I would say tensions got a little high for about 5 minutes.
There was no wood to chop in the car.
No wood in the car. So she says, I think we need to just pause and realize, this is just out of our control. I mean, she kind of had a to your point, Phil. I was like, yeah, let's just try to have a good attitude. So because her detour actually carried us over the site, the overpass of where this happened. So now I'm looking at it, and they have one. There's a big 18-wheeler in the middle of the road, kind of catty corner. There's enough military and cop cars. It looked like a movie set. And they have one of these robots, on tires. It's like looking into the vehicle. And the way to get on the interstate, I don't know what I'm trying to say there.
The ramp?
Yeah, the ramp on that side is clear. And I'm like, well, why don't they just let people on? Because when it came out, it was behind where all this was happening.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, it's got to be some kind of chemical spill because they've shut down. I mean, you could just get on right here and go. But here's what threw me off. Well, the other side of the interstate, it's fine. There's cars coming. And I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. So it turns out they thought, the more research I did, because we had to go way around, and they thought it was a possible bomb.
Yeah. When you said robot, that's what I thought.
Well, what about all these people on the other side of the interstate? It's like they shut down the interstate for miles going west.
Yeah.
But
they're still going
nobody
east.
thought the bomb, you're letting traffic go 50 feet. So I just thought, this is what's wrong with our society. We have all these rules. Every police force in the world got sanctioned to shut down traffic. You just think about, you go for miles and miles, and you're shutting down every access to the interstate with roadblocks. I mean, I saw hundreds of police vehicles throughout this venture. But then when that happened, and it turns out, guess what? Ran out of gas.